Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear is going to leave you pissed. I'll just tell you now. On one side, we have a once great American brand, Cracker Barrel, collapsing before our very eyes, spitting in the face of loyal customers, erasing decades of heritage, torching $500 million in value just to please the woke mob. A CEO in denial telling you everything's fine. Meanwhile, the stock tanks and families across America mock their sterile, soulless brand. But of course, on the other side, chaos is in our streets and in the courthouses. A migrant truck driver here illegally since 2018 kills 3 innocent Americans in a high-speed wreck. No remorse, blank stares, licensed by none other than Gavin Newsom's California, despite failing his CDL test. How do you fail the CDL test and still get a license? How does that even work? Well, it's California, so I'm not surprised. At the same time, ICE storms courthouses in Connecticut, dragging out fugitives wanted for assault, robbery, kidnapping. Meanwhile, sanctuary state Democrats, they're screaming in the streets, state-sanctioned violence, and actually threaten to investigate ICE instead of the criminals. I can't make this stuff up, guys. This is the America that we've been forced into. Our corporations collapsing under woke leadership while migrant criminals are running in our streets. They're running wild in the roads and in the courts. But here's a twist that you need to hear. President Donald J. Trump, he's not standing by. Florida leaders are standing up. They're not standing by either. They are leading from the front. They are personally escorting these killers back to justice. They're ordering a review of 55 million visas to protect jobs, roads, and neighborhoods. The media, they're not going to tell you about this, but I will. So stick around, guys. I have a lot more to share with you, including how Cracker Barrel destroyed itself and how even their competitors are now laughing in their faces. Name your favorite restaurant that you're probably going to switch Cracker Barrel out for in the comments. I want to see what you guys are recommending. What's your favorite restaurant? How a single illegal truck driver exposed the total failure of sanctuary states, and why Trump's crackdown is just now getting started, and how ICE's Operation Broken Trust shook Connecticut to the core, sparking protests, arrests, even threats against politicians. Folks, by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why America is absolutely fed up with Democrats, and why Democrats are completely panicking, and why Trump's law and order agenda is striking at the heart of the chaos. Hit the like button, subscribe. I want to jump into this. Appreciate the support, guys. Well, yeah, this is the day that shows exactly what's wrong with the America's elites. So on one side, Cracker Barrel, they're collapsing under the weight of its own woke nonsense. You've seen the stock, right? Anybody invested in Cracker Barrel stock lately or watching the movement of it? Oh, it's crazy what's going on in the markets. So on one side, you got migrant criminals running wild under President Trump, and America First leaders decided to go ahead and put a stop to this thing here. So this isn't just about pancakes and rocking chairs, folks. Although I do love Cracker Barrel's pancakes, I ain't gonna sit here and tell you no stories. It is about the soul of our country. From the boardrooms to the streets, America's culture and safety are under siege right now. So let's go ahead and get started. Cracker Barrel's corporate meltdown, shall we? Well, the numbers don't lie. Under this CEO, Cracker Barrel has lost $500 million in value. And when they rolled out their new woke rebrand, the stock plunged 20% in 3 days. Now, just imagine that, right? $1 billion brand torched almost overnight. Why? Because they erased everything that made Cracker Barrel Cracker Barrel. Gone is the heritage logo, the old man, the barrel, the tradition, replaced with some sterile text-only nonsense that could be basically a generic sign at an airport kiosk for all we know. They called it fresh energy. Well, what it really was is corporate suicide. So that's all it was, guys, corporate suicide. And then came the remodels, the menu changes that nobody asked for, stores stripped of their charm, turned into these sterile showrooms, alcohol sales were reduced, executives are patting themselves on the back saying the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Really, guys? Tell that to the thousands of customers that are mocking them and making fun of them online, flooding comment sections and trolling every move. So, guys, here's the kicker. When customers voiced outrage, what did the executive say? Well, They dismissed it as vocal minority. Yeah, translation, if you don't like it, just shut up. We don't need you. That's the way I took it. I don't know about you guys. Folks, this is not how you treat loyal customers, is it? I mean, that's how you destroy decades of brand loyalty in a single board meeting. Now, trust me, it gets 100% worse than that, because what Cracker Barrel did next follows the exact same playbook that wrecked Bud Light and Disney Star Wars. And I'm going to show you guys exactly why their competitors are laughing them completely out of the room. Now, imagine this, right? Imagine your neighbor just told you that they saved $1,000 a year by calling Chapter. Then another neighbor says that their plan covered more benefits after Chapter reviewed it. Now, at this point, what do? You call too, because nobody wants to be the only one that's missing out, right? This is exactly why I partner with Chapter, folks. Their track record speaks for itself. And this is why most people on your block are already calling the number on the bottom of your screen right now. Guys, the question is, are you going to be the last house on the street to find out? Give our friends a call at the phone number on the bottom of the screen right now, 909-563-8279, or hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron, link down below. Now, let's talk about the denial, shall we? Because if you thought losing $500 million and watching your stock collapse was going to wake up the Cracker Barrel executives, think again. They are clinging to the exact same delusion that destroyed Bud Light under Alyssa Heinsfield and completely wrecked Disney Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy. So I'm sure you guys remember those disasters. Do you? Let me know if you remember those disasters, guys. Bud Light puts Dylan Mulvaney on a can, loses billions of dollars. Kathleen Kennedy takes the most successful franchise in Hollywood history and turns it into a graveyard. And so what do these executives all have to say? Oh, well, everything's fine. The fans love it. It's just a small minority complaining. Well, let me know, guys. What do y'all think about the Cracker Barrel changes? Is it really no big deal? Are we just blowing this out of proportion? Or do you love it? Maybe you love it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. Well, if this sounds familiar, this is because the exact same playbook has been used over and over and over. Attack your fans, gaslight your customers, pretend that failure is somehow success. Cracker Barrel is walking the same plank. And while customers are furious, guess who's piling on? Oh, it's the competition, guys. Steak and Shake comes out mocking Cracker Barrel, saying, we actually respect history and tradition. Denny's jumps in and ridicules the logo. Looks like they copied homework and then just changed the font. Folks, when even Denny's is dunking on you, you know you've hit rock bottom. You know what I mean? But hang on, guys, because it doesn't stop with the logos and the remodels. There's a whole lot more to this. So here's what the media doesn't want you to see, okay? Cracker Barrel was a sponsor of Nashville Pride. Anybody know what that is? Nashville Pride? Yes. Your favorite restaurant, once a symbol of tradition, funneling money into Pride events while telling you that they're still all about country hospitality. Now, I don't know about you, but if that's not enough, insiders leaked documents showing their corporate offices pushing LGBTQ safe space rules, banning so-called heterosexist comments. Yeah, folks, this right here is why Cracker Barrel now sits on what I call the Mount Rushmore of woke girl boss disasters. Yeah, right up there with Bud Light and Disney Star Wars, Alyssa Heinrich, Kathleen Kennedy, and now the Cracker Barrel CEO. Three women who torched the trust of millions of loyal customers, all in the name of chasing these the woke approval that doesn't even really exist. No one asked for this, right? I mean, I don't know. So here's the irony. Even some Democrats admit that the rebrand was a complete disaster. When the left and the right both say that your logo sucks, that's not progress. No, that is a total collapse of your Cracker Barrel brand. But while woke CEOs are busy destroying American communities and companies, something way darker is happening out on our roads and in our courthouses. Migrant criminals here illegally, they're endangering lives every single day. And I'm about to show you guys this one case that proves exactly why President Trump is leading the charge to shut this down once and for all. So here's where it gets deadly serious, guys. President Trump, he's done with it. While Cracker Barrel is collapsing under woke stupidity, American lives are being lost thanks to failed sanctuary policies. Case in point, an illegal migrant truck driver. This guy snuck into the country back in 2018. California, everyone's favorite state under Gavin Newsom's leadership, handed him a commercial driver's license, even though he failed multiple exam questions. Failed. And yet he was licensed to drive an 18-wheeler. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is not fiction. This is literally what just happened. Fast forward to this year, he's barreling down the road in Florida, makes this illegal U-turn in a restricted zone. Cars are coming at him at like 70 miles an hour. 3 innocent Americans killed on the spot. 3 families ripped apart because of one preventable failure. And when he's confronted about it, broken English, blank stare, probably doesn't even know what they're asking him. He knows what he did. He just sat there, stone cold, like nothing happened. Folks, that's not just negligence. That is pure evil. So now here's the question. Here's the difference between Democrat leadership and Trump leadership. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom handed him a license. In Florida, Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, a 23-year Green Beret in the Army, he personally escorted this killer back for trial. That's leadership, guys. That's America first in action. So let me be crystal clear. This man is facing up to 30 years in prison for vehicular homicide. And after that, deportation. This is what the Trump era standard is. We don't just talk about law and order, we enforce it. But it's not just one driver. It's actually happening everywhere, guys. I mean, just look at California, just look at Connecticut, okay? Where ICE unleashed Operation Broken Trust. In just 4 days, ICE raided courthouses in Norwalk, Stamford, and Dansbury. 65 arrests. That's over a 10-day period, okay? And nearly half of them were criminals with serious rap sheets. Assault, robbery, kidnapping, weapons charges. These weren't dreamers. These were fugitives that were hiding in plain sight. And so the footage is shocking. 2 Mexican brothers, the Chavez brothers, pulled from a red truck. One tased after resisting, the other one cuffed at the scene. Family members and activists are running in screaming, "Where's your warrant? Where's your warrant?" But here's the truth, guys. ICE doesn't need a warrant to arrest somebody in public. That's the law. And so what do we hear afterward? Families crying that their kids are going to suffer, activists filming ICE officers demanding names and badge numbers, and CNN's digging up these misdemeanor records while conveniently ignoring the bigger picture. These were clearly fugitives ordered to leave the country who refused to leave the country. So let me ask you this, guys. Should ICE just go ahead and ignore violent offenders because activists shout sanctuary? Or should they do exactly what they did already? Enforce the law and get these criminals off the street? Well, guess what, guys? The blowback didn't stop there. Of course, why would it stop there? Politicians jumped in, some praising ICE, others defending the criminals, and it turned into this full-on battle in the state of Connecticut. And so here's really where it kind of explodes into pure politics, because after ICE cleaned house in Connecticut, the swamp creatures came crawling out to defend their indefensible. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, Connecticut, immediately called for a congressional investigation into ICE, not into the violent offenders, not into the criminals arrested for assault, kidnapping, robbery. No, of course not. No. Blumenthal wants to investigate the men and women of ICE for doing their jobs. Can you believe that, guys? So at the same time, Democrats in Hartford doubled down on their so-called Trust Act, the law that blocks state and local police from helping ICE. Yeah, so they're doubling down on sanctuary even after violent fugitives were legally dragged out of their courthouses. They still think that the problem is just too much enforcement. Meanwhile, Republicans in the state legislature, they're saying exactly what you and I are thinking. Good. This is excellent news. Connecticut streets are now safer. Finally, someone standing up and saying the obvious. But it didn't stop with politicians. Of course not, guys. The activist machine went into overdrive. Shifting gears, hitting the gas. Protesters outside the courthouses basically screaming, this was state-sanctioned kidnapping. Civil rights attorneys are popping up in the streets on local TV telling people, don't fight ICE in the streets, fight them in the court. At least that lawyer had one thing right. If you resist federal officers, you're not going to be winning that battle. And so then, of course, came the scandal that went completely viral nationwide. All 50 states, guys. State Representative Corey Paris, Democrat, took to social media warning his followers about ICE raids. He told them to stay vigilant and share information with activist groups. And who picked it up? Libs of TikTok. Boom. 2 million views in 24 hours. Guys, libs of TikTok be on it, doggone it, accusing him of obstructing ICE and calling for charges. So then what happened next, right? Well, Paris claimed he got death threats. Suddenly, every politician in Connecticut, Republicans and Democrats, they joined hands to say, this is terrible. Corey, we're with you. But let me ask the question that nobody else will, okay? How do we even know these threats were real? Like, seriously, convenient, isn't it? The focus shifted from fugitive criminals to Corey Paris playing the victim. Come on, man. That I bet you is one of their own sending some fake, threat so that they can make that person the victim. You see how the game works, right? We've seen the playbook, same plays over and over and over. Folks, this is, in fact, their playbook. Democrats, they push these sanctuary laws that let the fugitives run wild. ICE steps in, does their job that they won't, and then they flip the script, turn law enforcement into the bad guys somehow, and their politicians into martyrs. It's completely backwards. It's insane. It's dangerous, and they just keep doing it. But here's the thing, guys. While sanctuary states were shielding fugitives and woke CEOs or collapsing brands, Trump is already 3 steps ahead. And what he's doing right now, this is the broadest immigration crackdown in American history. So this is where President Donald J. Trump steps in because woke CEOs are busy collapsing companies and Democrats are shielding fugitives. Trump is leading the biggest immigration crackdown in American history. So just this week alone, the White House announced a sweeping review of over 55 million U.S. visas. You heard that right, guys. Every single visa holder, from students to workers to tourists, is under continuous vetting. Now, if you overstay, if you commit crimes, if you so much as raise a finger against this country, you're out. Visa revoked, deported. Already 6,000 student visas have been yanked, some for national security, some for criminal activity, and yes, even for reckless drivers on our roads. And after what we just saw in Florida, where an undocumented truck driver with a CDL license from California made an illegal turn and killed 3 Americans, can anybody honestly argue with this logic here? Trump's framing is simple. Protect American jobs, protect American families, protect American roads, and it's working. Compare that to Joe Biden's America, where illegals were handed licenses, where ICE was told to stand down, where sanctuary cities thrived. Biden's gone. Those days are over. And so that brings me to the closing contrast, folks. I mean, because this entire story just pretty much tells you everything you need to know about where America stands today. On the one side, you got Cracker Barrel completely collapsing, executives spitting on their loyal customers, torching the heritage, and throwing away hundreds of millions of dollars just to look woke. On the other side, you've got migrant criminals running wild in sanctuary states, threatening judges, killing innocent drivers, resisting arrest outside courthouses. But standing in their way is Trump and Florida. America First leadership. Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins personally escorting fugitives back from California to face justice in Florida. ICE raiding courthouses and ripping violent offenders off the streets, and Trump himself ordering the visa review of 55 million people to keep Americans safe. Guys, this is the contrast. Collapse versus strength, weakness versus leadership, chaos versus order. This is why the American people gave Donald J. Trump a mandate, because they're tired of watching their country collapse while criminals are running free. Now, folks, make no mistake, this fight is not over. The woke CEOs, they're going to keep doubling down. The sanctuary states are going to keep obstructing. But Trump, he's already 5 steps ahead. He's restoring strength. He's restoring safety, restoring common sense. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Drop a comment down below. Do you think Cracker Barrel can ever recover from this collapse, or is it just game over for them like Bud Light? Oh, and more importantly, should sanctuary states be punished for shielding criminals? Let me know what y'all think, because the American people, we deserve the truth, and together we're going to keep exposing it. I'll see you guys on the next one.